In this video, we'll be going over the IRS Interactive Tax Assistant that helps people determine whether or not they have an excess salary deferral in their 401k plan and how to go about correcting it if they do. So the information that you'll need is your 401k plan administrator's maximum limit for your deferral and your total contributions for the tax year. Your total contributions should include your pre-tax and designated Roth contributions. However, they don't include any contributions that your employer might have made, like a matching contribution. You can usually find this amount on your annual benefits statement. You can ask your HR or payroll administrator. You can usually find it on your most recent pay statement too. So if you look on your pay statement, you should probably have access to the pay statement that goes at least all the way through November, and then you can estimate whether or not you might have an excess salary deferral. Usually the 401k administrator or your payroll have an automatic cutoff, so you're only contributing up to the maximum that you're allowed to, but you can determine if you've defer too much of your salary for one reason or another. You can use this tax tool to do that. So the estimated completion time is about 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and get started. So the most recent tax information at the time of this recording is for the tax year of 2022. Because we're in the middle of the tax year for 2023, the Interactive Tax Assistant has not updated for the 2023 tax year yet. So let's go ahead. So the first question is, did you make salary deferral contributions to only one plan or more than one plan? So if you contributed to one plan, as I previously mentioned, it should have cut off. If you were contributing to two or more plans, then this is where you might have made an excess salary deferral. So let's say that we only had one plan. So were you age 50 or older at the end of the tax year? So for 2023, this would be on or before December 31st, 2023. Let's just say you were, because there is an additional catch-up contribution for those that are 50 years old or older. So in 2022, did your total pre-tax and designated Roth contributions exceed $27,000? So note for 2023, this amount will be updated to $30,000 because that's the new limit. So if you wanted to know what your contribution limits were for age 50 or younger than age 50, it's $20,500 for the 2022 tax year, and then for 2023, this number would be $22,500. So let's go back to age 50 and older. So you can find this, again, your total contributions on your benefit statement. You do not include your employer contributions. And if you're a highly compensated employee, your annual limit may be lower. So let's go ahead and say yes. So you have an excess deferral, and generally the plan will automatically correct the excess by April 15th. If it didn't do this, then you have to notify your plan administrator. Usually your plan will permit excess deferral distributions, so they should issue you the excess amount as well as any income that was earned on that amount by April 15th. That's your plan administrator's responsibility. You should receive a copy of IRS Form 1099-R because this is a distribution from your plan. It should be coded correctly for the excess deferral distribution. So if it wasn't corrected by the tax filing deadline, then the excess amount is taxable to you in the year that you made the contributions and in the year that you received them as a distribution from the plan. So it is important that you stay on top of your plan administrator to make sure that you receive that Form 1099-R and to report your corrective distribution on your tax return. So you can't, so it's not considered a distribution from your plan in that you won't get the early withdrawal penalty. You also can't roll it over into another plan like you could. It won't have the mandatory 20% federal income tax withholding, and this distribution is not subject to a spousal consent requirement as with other ERISA plan distributions. So basically, you'll see this reported as a return to you. If it wasn't returned to you in the tax year that you say for the 2022 tax year, if this amount was returned to you in 2023, technically it won't be part of your taxable income for 2022 unless it was distributed in 2022. So you'll just have to pay attention and keep an eye out for that Form 1099-R. So let's go. So if it does come too late, if you've already filed a tax return, you may need to file an amended return. You report your excess deferrals in the year that you made them, and then you report the earnings on those excess deferrals in the year that you actually received them. So let's go back and change this. Let's say your total deferrals did not exceed $27,000. Does your plan limit the amount that you can contribute? Did you contribute an amount greater than the plan specified amount? So you don't have an excess deferral, then basically you would file your normal income tax return. So let's go back to the section where you might possibly have more than one plan. So this happens to a lot of people that have side income, like maybe they set up a solo 401k. That's a type of 401k. If you have two employers and you happen to contribute to multiple plans, if you had an employer at the beginning of the tax year and you went to another employer, the second employer won't have any information on your previous deferrals. So it is possible that you jump from one employer to another and you accidentally go over that deferral limit. So let's see what happens. This time, let's just pretend that you were under age 50 and your total deferrals for both years exceeded the amount. So because you had combined elective deferrals that exceeded the amount, then this would also include that catch-up contribution. So one of the mistakes that happens often with this is that if you go back without clearing the memory, you sometimes get some of the questions that came in from the other decision tree. So if you notice in this video, even though I selected that you were under age 50, it still kept throwing in questions. So let's go back and redo this. And let's start from the very beginning of this because sometimes that can be a little distracting. So in order to do that, I'll have to completely clear this and go back. So now we are at the point where, let's say that we were under the age of 50 and your total deferrals exceeded that limit. So you have an excess deferral. You would, in this case, you would notify one of your plans or both plans if you needed to. If that plan permits excess deferral distributions, then they would need to follow the steps outlined here. They would return the excess plus any income by the tax filing deadline. They would issue a Form 1099-R. They would report that to the IRS, but then they would give you a copy. So, and then you would report those if you receive that distribution by the tax filing deadline. You would report it on your form, on your wage line of your original return. If you receive that afterwards, then you would have to file an amended return. So, and then there's additional kind of steps, links in here to different FAQ pages for things like if you made excess salary deferrals to a 401k plan, so on and so forth. One thing that I always advise people is to take a look at this review screen and print it out and keep it in your records because this kind of walks through your decision making, and if you keep this in your records, if for some reason this becomes a lasting issue, you have a frame of reference to go back to. And then once you get this problem corrected, if you're audited by the IRS, you can use this as kind of the check sheet that you would walk your examiner through on how you corrected this issue. So we did mention a couple of tax forms, notably 1099-R. We will put links in the show notes to the articles and other content that we've produced related to this. So, but that's all we have for this tax tool. If you like, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please post them in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.